Hello, welcome back to Learning with Ms. H. This is Earth Science, and we are looking at our Model Earth lab today. So the starter is just to read through the lab materials and make sure you know what you're doing. You're going to make a three-dimensional model of the Earth. It's not going to be to scale, but we're going to try and make it as close to proportional as we can. If you're absent from class today, you're going to do this homework assignment instead. It's the alternate assignment. And if you click that link, it's going to have you make a copy of it. And this is the document you're going to have. So instead of making the model, you're going to do a 2-page paper, paragraph form, please. Don't use a list or a Q&A. But you are going to talk about each of the layers of the Earth from the inside out. So you're going to start with the inner core, work all the way out to the crust. And you are going to give me this information about each layer. So you'll have the 4 different layers, this information about all of them in paragraph form as an essay. You're going to finish it up by comparing the layers to each other and discussing their similarities and differences. So all of that together should be a minimum of 2 pages. You can delete this and go ahead and start typing your information right there. This document then will get turned in on the Model Earth Lab assignment page right here, just as if you had done the lab. If you are not in class and you are able to do the lab, you are welcome to do it at home as well. We're going to use play-doh in class, but you can also use clay, any type of like cookie doughs or modeling chocolates or anything like that. Anything that you can mold will be perfectly fine for this. You just need 3 different colors and the 3 different amounts. So what you're going to do for this is read through this lab document here. There's a link to the alternative assignment if you can't do it, and then right here is a link to the student response sheet. That is just all of the questions taken out and put into one location without all the extra bits of information in there. So no background information, none of the subjectives materials, any of that. It's just all of the questions here. So you've got some pre-lab questions to answer. And then you have a procedures. In your procedures, you'll need to tell me what color you're using to represent each layer. For the marble, if you're doing it at home, you can use a small rock as well. I actually used a chocolate chip for the center of mine this time. So be creative, use something small that's going to be around the same size as a marble. If you're at home and needing to come up with your own materials and supplies. There are some questions to answer in the procedures, so please read through this section. Information on how to do the lab, and then some final questions as well. You have a couple more to fill in here, and then some final post-lab questions at the bottom. So you'll answer all of these questions on that document. They all go on the same document regardless of where they come from the lab, and that's what you'll turn in. If you're doing this at home instead of at school, one of the questions is going to ask you to take a picture of your model Earth and insert that picture onto your answer document so that I can see that you made it. That's all you have to do with this. You are free to go ahead and stop the video and get started. If you want to see a demonstration of making the model Earth, keep watching and I will post a short video about how to go through each step in this procedure and how to make the model Earth. All right, so this is our quick run through of the Model Earth lab. Here's the materials that you need. There are 3 colors of play-doh here, and that is a little chocolate chip that I'm using in place of the marbles because I don't have one. I'm going to rearrange these, so now it's in the order of crust, mantle, core, and inner core. So we're going to start off with the outer core, and we're going to roll this into a ball, and then we're going to smash it against the paper that's covering the desk, so one side of it's flat. So it's going to be kind of a hemisphere, semicircle with a flat bottom on it. So when you look at this, you'll see a flat side, and then you have the rounded edge that's the hemisphere semicircle looking piece. Now we're going to take our inner core and we're going to press it into our outer core that we just made. And my inner core is just a chocolate chip because I did not have a marble to use for this example. And I'm going to mold it so that the outer core has the proper amount around the inner core there. We're going to try and keep it a circle still, so it's a circular shape there. Now we're going to take our mantle and we're going to form that into a ball. And as we do this, we're going to press down on the bottom of it and still try to keep the semicircular shape on the rest of it. And I'm going to make it a little bit flatter here, so we have enough mantle to go around our outer core. We still have the semicircle shape there. And we've got a few flecks of other colors of Play-Doh in here, but that's okay. We're going to make a hole in the center of it, and we're going to press out so that we have an indentation in the middle to put our outer core into, and we still keep the mantle intact around it. My Play-Doh is a little bit older, so it's kind of crunchy and it's a little bit harder to work with than most, but we make do. We're going to squish it around so it holds the outer core into it. So we still have our semicircular shape here. We're going to set that to the side, and now we're going to work with our crust material. So this color, we're going to just smash it flat. We're not going to worry about putting it into a ball shape. We're going to smash it out as flat as we can get it. You can do this by hand, or you can use a rolling pin. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can use a pencil. So set your pencil on it. It's easier if you set it down flat on the table. Roll your pencil across it, and that is going to flatten it out. Just put pressure on the pencil as you roll it out. You want to get this as flat and thin as you can possibly make it. If it's see-through, even better. Very, very thin, so that it represents more proportionally what the crust would look like. This crust is then going to go around your mantle piece there. So keep working on it, thin it out until it's super paper thin, and then you'll place it around the mantle. Okay, so now you're going to take this, wrap it around the mantle piece, and you're going to press it into place. And as you press it, it will continue to spread out. You're just going to pull off any excess that you have that oozes over the edges. It's not going to fit perfectly. You're going to have to tear some off and then squeeze it back together and just kind of work it until you get it all the way around there. It's not necessarily going to be perfect. There are places on the crust where it's thinner and places where it's thicker, remember. You'll just have parts that look like oceans and parts that look like the land. So now we've got our crust on here, and this is going to be your completed model Earth. We still have the semicircle shape there. You have all 4 layers in place, and that is your model Earth. If you're going to keep it, you can continue to pull off any excess and form it and make it look pretty. If you're not going to keep it, you can re-separate all of the Play-Doh colors and put them back in their containers. And that is it. There you have it, your model Earth.